Hi guys, it's Coach Fens here with another Friday Tips with Fens. What we're going to talk about today is something which is incredibly important for all of us that are challenging ourselves to do new events or trying to be the best in a particular type of event as a cyclist, and that's specificity. I've talked about this before and I work on it a lot with my athletes, because unless we're doing the specific training which is specific to the outcome or the goal that we're after achieving, then basically it's going to be very difficult for us to achieve the outcome, for us to reach our goal. Okay, so what do I mean by this? What do I mean by specificity? I'll give you a quick example of that. Is that, we can go out and we can do classic 2 by 20 minute threshold efforts 3 times a week, some longer endurance rides, and get very, very fit, have great cardiovascular condition, be strong, be climbing well, fantastic, everything's gangbusters. The problem is that in any race situation, very rarely are you doing a straight 20-minute climb at the same pace 3 times. It just doesn't work like that. The races are held, people go into the base of them already at pace, there's attacks, there's all these different things happening on the climb. So simply by having that really good level of condition may put you in the mix. It may put you or bring you into the base of the climb or halfway up the climb, still able to stay with the guys. But when the attacks start going, you haven't developed the specific energy systems, the specific muscular strength, the repeatability of efforts, the ability to, tolerate high levels of lactate again and again and process them and go again. All of these things haven't been done in training, and therefore, when it comes to a race situation, you're simply just going to come up short. So, a lot of people continue to do, what they enjoy doing. And it's that something I always say is that you always do what you've always done. You're always going to get what you always got. And that, I think, is a classic thing for a self-coached athlete. You like doing the Tuesday morning bunch. Tuesday morning bunch always does the same thing. They roll around, 5K from home, they start putting the gas down, everyone's scrambling, sprint for the finish, go to the coffee shop. Sunday or Saturday morning rides, you do a big loop, you attack each other a few times, and you do a few efforts, chasing on, or if you're not feeling great, you hang on for grim death, and you get spat out the back and you ride home. By doing them all the time, you're only going to be good at doing those rides. So you might become specifically great at doing the Saturday morning bunchy because you've done that lots of times and you've developed the specifics to do that. But say your target race is, you're a sprinter, for instance, and you're in a team, and the team's going to lead you out. Unless you've been led out at 55, 60 kilometers an hour, for instance, and been able to come off the back of a train at that speed, just doing sprint training at 40 kilometers an hour along on the flat is not going to cut the mustard. You're not going to be at 120 RPM. You're not going to kick off the wheel at 100 and 105 RPM and accelerate up to 120 RPM, where you're hitting your sort of peak numbers, because you're going to be doing that at sort of 90 to 100 RPM, okay? Because you're not at the speed, you're not in that big gear, you're not in the, the 53, the 54, 12, or even the 11. So to become a sprinter, you're going to have to practice that. So whether that's out there with a motorbike and you practice sprinting off the back of the moto, whether that's practicing coming off of a slight downhill so you're at the right speed and then being in the right gear to jump and accelerate at that type of speed, unless you're doing those sorts of things very specifically, you're not going to be the best at doing that specific type of sprint. A time trialist, for instance, time trialists generally are training, with longer steady state threshold based efforts. You're putting in VO2 efforts, you're really developing that aerobic engine, that ability to sustain a big power output for a period of time. And that's fantastic, and that will generally, for most time trialists and for most time trials, be a perfect combo for a great end result. Thing is, not all time trial courses are the same, and you'll have seen this with riders at the Tour de France, for instance. The best time trialists will always generally come to the fore, but preparing for a specific time trial where you know the specific course, you know that on that course you're going to have 5 1 to 2 minute efforts that are going to be over threshold. You're going to have a small period of time where you can recover on the downhill, soft pedal. Once you're up at 65 kilometers an hour and you're in the tuck on the TT rig, you can be going very much as fast as someone who's trying to pedal. They're using loads of energy. You're saving it for that next over threshold effort on the next climb. Okay, so again, remembering that if we know that that's the course, we can prepare specifically for that in our training, so that our bodies, our muscles, everything is prepared specifically for that one event. You can take this to its umpteenth level, but think about it for everything that you're doing within your training. If you're training to do the 3 peaks, you know, it's not a race situation as such, but you've got to get over those bergs. Okay, don't start out hot in your training on the first berg, right up at the top of threshold, because the chances are you're not going to be able to maintain that high output of threshold for a full duration of a 3 peaks, and on the final climb you're going to really struggle. So sit into those efforts, get really good at riding long periods of time in that sort of sweet spot, that 90-92% of threshold. That's an area we can sustain for long periods of time, and if you keep pushing your body in that area, then you're going to be really prepared for those long, grueling climbs of a 3 peaks challenge. If you're a mountain biker, mountain biking, training on the road is not going to cut it 100% for mountain biking. Mountain biking, you're going to be coming out of corners in big gears, jumping out of corners in big gears. You're going to have periods where you're completely off the pedals. Lots and lots of on-off type efforts, getting over very high intensity, high powered efforts, getting over little obstacles. And it's an all body thing. So you've got to be out there doing things on your mountain bike to be good for mountain biking. All right, look, as you could probably tell, you could go into this subject for hours and hours and hours. And as coaches, myself and all of my fellow coaches at FTP Training, we of course have looked at hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of files from races, from courses, for different events. And therefore we target and help our athletes target the specifics needed for those types of events. And it's why we're so successful with the clients that we look after. It's why we win so many national championships, world championships, state titles, and break records. It's because we've got files on pretty much everything that there is to do, and therefore we can target specifics to help you achieve what you want to do. Get out there, go and get your files, bring it back, look at it, replicate it in training, and be absolutely awesome when you get out there and give it your red hot crack. All right, guys, I hope that's helped. Remember, if you've got any questions for us, please fire them across as an expression of interest and a contact form on our website. It's www.ftptraining.com. Please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and give us a like over on our YouTube channel. We've got lots of information there for you, and I'm sure if you troll through it all, it'll help you become a fitter, faster and stronger cyclist. Thanks very much, guys. I'll catch you out on the road or trail. Bye-bye.